Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to be discussing prompt one and prompt two over a misunderstanding that I had in my specific classroom, and then how technology impacts communication and learning in that same environment with my students. So recently, I'm a substitute teacher. I was put into a long-term position with fourth grade math students, and math is not my strongest suit. However, our lead teacher that oversees all of fourth and fifth grade was coming in the morning, and she was teaching the lesson, so that way, not only could I see it being taught, but that way I can take some of what she did and some things that she did and do the afternoon class as well. So a recent misunderstanding that I've had with her, so our computer is hooked up to our projector, and she projects the book or whatever it is on the board so she can do the lesson. And granted, I could have been, supervising students and walking around and making sure, they were on task, but with her in the room, that's usually never really an issue. So I was using that time to grade, put in grades, create assignments, because I don't have access to everything, and doing things that I thought would be a little more beneficial with my time, as well as, kind of multitasking and paying attention to different things. But she took it very passive aggressive, because I was on my personal computer, which I have access to everything personal, whether it's work or personal computer related. And she was very snippy with me. Fast forward 3-4 days later, we're having a discussion with the principal about my behavior and personal computer use and cell phone use and things of that nature. And it was, from my perspective, I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was doing really above what I feel most would do in that situation. But she saw it very differently. And, you would assume if you're on your personal computer, you're doing things that are personally related, which I would never make that assumption, but neither here nor there. And it had gotten brought up in the meeting, and I was like, well, I was grading and I was doing this and I was on Canvas. And she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, but you could have just asked. So communication, relatively, right? You could have just asked, hey, what are you doing on your computer? You should be X, Y, and Z. But that's not what happened. And looking back, it not necessarily was what I was doing, because what I was doing wasn't wrong. It was communication and how it happened. She just decided to get an attitude and be angry over the situation, and she could have just asked a simple question, used verbal communication over the technology that was being used. Right? So this also connects really well to communication with our students, or my students. It's a double-edged sword, right? It's definitely made things for us more efficient, the grading, the posting one assignment to 45 kids. But what I've seen in the classroom is that it has negative effects on them. Instead of focusing on the assignment that they're doing, because it's not locked, they're going onto games, or they're doing this tab, and they're going here, and you can access Roblox and do all these things, and then your teacher walks by, you click a different tab and you move along. So they're not actually working, they're more distracted by all the other things that they're able to do because they can, versus pen and paper, where it's just the work in front of you. There's nothing else you could possibly be doing. I feel like it's reduced critical thinking as well. They're just so worried about all these other things instead of the work in front of them, and it shows very much in their grades. So I only have 5 minutes. So overall, I think my experience with communication and understandings or misunderstandings, what I've seen is that both situations really come down to how it's managed and how it's used, and adults specifically being adults and using your words or communications in that perspective, instead of just resulting to passive aggressive attitudes, where even like text messages come into play. You can text something and it is perceived so differently than how it was actually meant. So thank you. Have a great day.